LOX, out.
Music interlude, y'all. Music interlude.
Saint-Pierre. Please listen to my mixtape. 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 Booms digging in the crate, trying to get the shit straight. So we can come up with a classic, light a blunt up and have a talk with the masses. Goes hardcore, these other rappers is ass kid. Car made of fiberglass, gun made of plastic. Please don't try to aim for the eyelashes and the nose bone and the chin hair. Bullets all in there, done that, been there. Body something, get my passport and my swimwear. I'm out. You never seen goggles on a gargoyle, gonna shoot in water. I'm slick like car oil. I used
Ooh, that's a good song.
Here are several notable cases where white individuals have been charged with hate crimes in the U.S. Joseph Zuba from Illinois in 2025. He's a 66-year-old white man. He was sentenced to 53 years in prison for the racially motivated murder of Wadi Al-Fuyumi and his mother, Hanan Shaheen, in Skokie, Illinois. Zuba, who had previously been convicted of a hate crime in 2011, attacked the victims with a machete, leading to their deaths. What a nice fella. Number 2, Larry Edward Foxworth out of Georgia. Larry Edward Foxworth, a 48-year-old white man from Jonesboro, Georgia, pled guilty to committing a hate crime after he fired multiple shots into 2 convenience stores targeting black and Arab individuals. Foxworth admitted to being a white supremacist and expressed intent to harm people based on their race. Jason Stanley out of Idaho. In 2018, Jason Stanley, a 46-year-old white supremacist, pled guilty to a hate crime and making false statements to federal agents. Stanley and others assaulted a black man, T.S. They're obviously using his initials to protect his identity, at a bar in Linwood, Washington, using racial slurs and causing bodily injury. Stanley also lied to the FBI about his involvement in the incident. Devin Wayne Johnson out of Oklahoma. In 2022, Devin Wayne Johnson, a 28-year-old white man from Oklahoma City, was sentenced to 10 years in prison for a racially motivated attack on a black man in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Johnson, along with a co-defendant, physically assaulted the victim due to his race and color. Number 5, Lee Muat out of Michigan. In 2020, Lee James Muat, a 42-year-old white man from Monroe, Michigan, was charged with state and federal hate crimes after he approached a group of black teenagers at a state park, used racial slurs, and struck one of them in the face with a bike lock, causing serious injuries. These cases highlight the legal consequences faced by individuals committing racially motivated offenses, underscoring the importance of addressing hate crimes throughout the judicial system.
Yeah, that's how much Michelle is immersed in the family now. So Mom and Jim sent us a little card and stuff. They got Michelle's name on here first, and then mine last. Love you, Mom. Love you, Jim. Thank you for the card. We're about to open it now. We just got done taking Chewy out for a walk. So we grabbed the mail. We haven't checked our mail in like a week. So, yep. I'm about to get these pancakes and eggs going. Yep. And you can give your dogs raw eggs. It's supposed to make their fur shine. Hi, Marley. Good, honey. Say hi, baby.
And they unpackage it, and it don't be in.
Word.
And it happens so much. It's discouraging.
Yeah, that was like it can't happen.
I went up to the hills, though. I took a trip to North Cali, and I actually met the originator of the haze.
No
the
shit.
dude that was growing it in Miami and sending it up to Dykeman.
Okay.
And he gave me that whole story. He happened to be chilling with the dude that originated Shower.
Oh shit.
And he went to Emerson Junior High School. He lived in Yonkers back in it. So just that day, that trip was fucking like crazy for me. It was like unbelievable if he wasn't there.
I don't want to say it because it's early, but we got a Shower and Pit Flake coming with a very reputable, somebody very reputable in the stoner community. It's a little too early to say, so I don't want to say it, but they do have their hands on some nice sour and some nice piff. Okay. And just putting it through the test.
Off the mic, I'm gonna guess what it is off the mic.
Yeah, we putting it through the test. Right. I still ain't gonna say nothing.
Okay.
So shout out Wisconsin, Illinois, Virginia, Utah, California, Maryland, Georgia, Massachusetts, Indiana, Wyoming, Arizona, Missouri, Mississippi, New Jersey, New York. Let's see. Shout out Ukraine, shout out Hungary, shout out Canada, shout out Bangladesh, shout out United Kingdom, shout out Iran, shout out Moldova, shout out Serbia, shout out Germany, and shout out Italy. We appreciate y'all for listening. We appreciate y'all for listening. Yeah. And that was for the last 2 weeks. Those are the countries and the states that have been checking us out. So just in the past month, we've had 336 downloads and 224 listeners. Yep. I appreciate it, y'all. Keep spreading the word, and we'll keep speaking the word. All right, y'all, let's get back to this episode.
You gotta mastermind your business. It's the best thing you could do. Trust me. Money on my mind with a gun on my waistline. Think about death if you planning to take mine. Shout out to the homies that's doing the state time. Wasn't race related, but know it's a hate crime. Niggas hate being broke, hate being laid on the bench. Hustle graveyard, a nigga laid on the bench. Team from the trenches, it's a pump in the trench coat. I love drug money, the plug send dope. Then I had to think about the game. It's death or result, or a life full of pain. Once you get the picture, you can get about the frame. It's bed shot, or headshots, all the same. I'm just getting money while doing this G shit. Old blowing the old, leaving the recent. Probably on the plane, I don't fuck with the precinct. Cause the Jake's all in it, rats and snakes all in it. Ghosts way out the way of the pigs and the snakes. Cause these vermin ass niggas gon' rat. I'm about peace, but I'm still up on the streets. So I'm looking at my piece like I left this shit black. Staying out the way of the pigs and the snakes. Cause
this is great. I never thought of it that way. That's how good Hollywood is. Hollywood's good. And that's real. And I hate to take you there and take you on the whole trip, but it's the way it is. A white woman was baking a chocolate cake. No, she turned her back. The little boy took the chocolate rubber and said, "Look, Mommy, I'm black." She slapped the shit out of her. Go tell your father what you did. Look, Daddy, I'm black. He took that belt off and beat his ass. Go tell your grandfather. Look, Grandpa, I'm black. He took the switch out and beat his ass. Go back to your mama. Go back to the mother. Brother said, "Now, what did you learn today?" I said, "I learned that I've been black for 5 minutes already. I hate you, white motherfuckers." That's not a joke. That actually happened. That's not a joke. No, listen, we have got to get back to Christ. I can't say Jesus because there's no J in the Hebrew language. I hate to start shit, but that's the way it is. See, I thought I lost my magic. Is that the white couple that left tonight? It's Hollywood. It's really Hollywood. I love it too. I love it when they run. It's okay, but it's good when they run. It's good. It's great. Because they keep their whiteness. They're going to the beach. They're going to the beach. And they got up and they left. I was so happy to see. Because it's over. Because they thought they were coming here to see Mickey Rooney. I thought you said we were going to come and see Mickey Rooney. They have to leave. It's great. But it's so, they don't know how great it is. They have to leave. It's too black. But nothing can be too white. But I'm not stupid. I know Hollywood. I got them. I know what's up. I'm taking the same shit and I'm putting it on ice.
Did you hear this one from NBC News? Wisconsin woman found alive after missing for 62 years has no regrets about disappearing.
Oh, wow.
Audrey Backberg disappeared from Reedsburg in 1962 when she was 20 years old. Decades later, she has been found alive. Wow.
She just like fucked my family.
Huh?
She just like fucked my family.
Pretty much. In July 1962, 20-year-old Audrey Backberg went missing from Reedsburg, Wisconsin. Family babysitter says she and Backberg hitchhiked to Madison on July 7 before they took a Greyhound bus to Indianapolis, according to her missing person report. The babysitter says she last saw Backberg walking away from the bus stop around a corner. Investigators pursued different leads on her whereabouts for years, but the case eventually went cold until now. Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Backberg disappeared on her own volition with no criminal activity or foul play involved, authorities said. The woman, who spent more than 60 years listed as a missing person in Wisconsin, is now living in another state. The case was assigned to a Sauk County detective earlier this year as part of an ongoing review of all cold case files, Sheriff Chip Meister said in the release. Witnesses were re-interviewed, all evidence was reevaluated, and new insights were revealed. But the secret to cracking the case was her sister's ancestry family history profile. That was pretty key in locating death records, census reports, all kinds of data. Ultimately, we came up with an address. Hansen phoned the local sheriff's department and asked someone to stop by at the address he found. 10 minutes later, Backberg, now in her 80s, gave Hansen a call. An abusive husband may have been a factor in her disappearance, Hansen said, but he promised their conversation would remain private. The sheriff's office also did not disclose what state Backberg lived in. According to the Chippewa Herald, Backberg had 2 children with a former husband, Ronald, who died in 2006. Hansen confirmed to the Herald that Backberg did remarry and has a new last name that he declined to share. Hansen told the Herald he notified Backberg's family members who had mixed emotions but were elated. She sounded happy, he told WISN, confident in her decision, no regrets.
About to head out to make the donuts, y'all. Michelle made the coffee this morning. Let's check it out. I mean, she always makes great coffee, but let's see.
Stone Creek.
What's that, baby?
This is Stone Creek's Black Sheep.
Okay. Which I was of the family.
Really?
The Black Sheep.
Oh, okay.
Y'all might have heard my stomach growling too. Let's see. That's an 8.8 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
That's very good. Very good, Oscar. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, y'all. Just heading out. Yeah, that story Michelle just read was crazy, wasn't it? She was that story you just read. Well, she was basically just like incognito for what 60-something years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
God dang, that's crazy to just be like, I'm deuces, bye.
So she left her abusive husband. I can't remember. Did it say she had kids?
Not sure.
I don't think it really said.
I don't think she did.
And that's just, I mean.
How you can just be like, oh, fuck it. Don't need to see anyone know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be like, fuck it, I'm like not talking to family anymore, like nobody, I'm just out.
I wonder if there was one family member that knew.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yep. Yeah, that's a mess. That's crazy. I couldn't do that and just like never speak to anyone again. Even if you're not like the biggest people person, like why would you just want to like, yeah, I couldn't do that. Because we need human contact as people. Yeah, she had 2 kids. Obviously, they're adults and stuff, but like, and then when they found out, her family members, when they found out, they were like, basically acted like they didn't really care. Well, not really care, but they were just kind of like, whatever.
Oh, that's crazy. I can't imagine like my parent missing for 60 years.
Mm-hmm. It says, according to Chippewa Herald, Backberg had 2 children with a former husband, Ronald, who died in '06. Hansen confirmed to the Herald that Backberg did remarry and has a new last name that he declined to share. Hansen told the Herald he notified Backberg's family members who had mixed emotions but were elated. Basically, they're like, whatever.
Right.
We're glad that they're alive, like, you know what I mean? Or whatever. But other than that, we're good. It's been so long.
Right.
But just to do that, like, could you do that?
No.
Just like, because you're basically saying, I'm done talking to my family, I'm done talking to friends, I'm done just communicating with people.
But think about how times were different maybe 60 years ago. It was not a common occurrence to get divorced.
True.
So, like, you know, it was kind of taboo.
People would stay together, if nothing else, for financial reasons, because it costs a lot to get the divorce. Sometimes price is cheaper just to continue living together, but not be together. Cheaper to keep her.
But maybe, like, her ex-husband was just so abusive that she felt like she didn't have a choice or something.
Yeah.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, no one wants to be in none of that kind of stuff. All right, y'all. I'm about to head out. And Trump's dumbass wants to reopen Alcatraz.
You look at it, it's sort of, you saw that picture that was put out, it's sort of amazing. But it sort of represents something that's both horrible and beautiful.
And then dude's dumbass said, Trump said that no one has ever escaped from Alcatraz yesterday.
What?
Remember when he said yesterday? He said no one's, I don't think you were watching he was up there spewing some nonsense. They were asking about Alcatraz. He said no one's ever escaped from Alcatraz.
I saw that.
There's a whole movie about it, dummy.
And I was trying to, like, see if the 2 people behind him would make any facial expression on that. Mm-hmm. And they did not.
Nothing. Right. I'm like, dude.
Right.
It's called Escape from Alcatraz, dummy. All right, Marley, I'm out. I'll get you some shreds. I'll bring you a couple cans of shreds back. See, his dumbass just said it right there. Hold on, y'all.
That made it nearly impossible to escape. This site inspiring President Donald Trump to make an ambitious proposal to return some of the nation's most violent offenders to what's known as the Rock.
Nobody's ever escaped from Alcatraz.
That's a lie.
Bars are rusting, the piping in the toilets, I mean, that toilet is falling apart, but there's actually no running water here. None of the pipes are connected. Alcatraz is a popular San Francisco tourist destination that welcomes about 1.5 million visitors every year and annually generates
for your reading pleasure, if you will. And I get this kind of criticism.
So this is a white fella, and he's talking about Donald Trump's racism. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes it hits a little different coming out of a white person's mouth when they're talking about white people being racist and stuff like that. Because sometimes when black and brown people, when we say it, like sometimes white people, like they'll just say that we're complaining and bitching and crying and shit like that, right? And they'll be telling us to get over it and stuff, which we never will. And I'm never going to stop talking about racism because it runs the world. It truly does. It truly does. You know what I mean? We've had one black president. I'll just say that. But this white guy right here, he's going to explain some of it. I don't know exactly what he's going to say, but he's talking about Trump's racism. Play about 3 minutes, y'all.
You say Donald Trump's racist. You think Donald Trump's supporters are racist, but you never prove it. You never say how. These are people who watch like one video of the thousands upon thousands upon thousands that I've published. Then I'll go back into the catalog and try to see the other things I say. I need to repeat everything all at once to prove it, to bring the receipts.
Because Trumpers are low IQ people.
I'm going to just bring another story to your attention of Donald Trump being a white supremacist, Donald Trump being an abject neo-Nazi, with the power of the presidency behind him, with the power to withdraw funding or not fund certain things. He does not have the power to pull funding that's already been appropriated by Congress. This is working its way through the courts, and we will see where that lands. But it is self-evident through the way the Constitution describes the congressional powers in Article 1 that they appropriate money, and then when that spending bill, that budget is signed into law, it is a law. It cannot be changed after the fact through the stroke of a pen unless it's repealed by Congress and rewritten by Congress and signed by the president. So anyway, Donald Trump has for a long time been in an all-out assault against black folks in this country. He says that all of the anti-woke, anti-DEI, anti-CRT, all of these are just different words for racism.
Exactly.
Donald Trump has said it. He's made it his main number one issue, especially in this administration, to combat the evils of DEI. In this case, he says that it's illegal DEI to fund the cleanup of a community that's over 70% black and the human wastewater that gets washed back up into their lawns, into their homes, and the fact that there are medical repercussions from this poisoning of these black people. So tell me again that the guy who's deleting pictures of the contributions of black Americans from Harriet Tubman all the way up through Gulf War veterans, pictures are being deleted. The exhibits from the Black History Museum are being sent back and taken down. They are dismantling black contributions in this country because of Jason Blackwell, the emailer, white supremacy.
So the claim that undocumented immigrants are routinely rounded up and imprisoned is not entirely accurate. While some undocumented individuals have criminal convictions and serve prison time, the majority are not involved in serious criminal activity. See what I'm saying? Criminal convictions among undocumented immigrants. Federal census in fiscal year 2023, 21,504 non-U.S. citizens were sentenced for federal crimes, accounting for 33.7% of all federal sentences. Of these, 76% were from immigration-related offenses, were for immigration-related sentences, such as illegal entry or re-entry. Other offenses included drug trafficking, 14%, and fraud, 3.3%. That's from the Federal Defender Services. State and local incarcerations. Data on state and local incarcerations are less comprehensive. However, a Government Accountability Office report estimated that between 2011 and 16, there were approximately 730,000 criminal aliens in the United States, or state prisons and local jails, accounting for about 21% of the federal inmate population. See what I'm saying? It says, a Government Accountability Office report estimated that between 2011 and 2016, so a 5-year period, there were approximately 730,000 criminal aliens in the United States, or state prisons and local jails. That's in the United States, y'all. See what I'm saying? I'm just constantly dispelling that bullshit rumor. Because, like, the Trump people, what they want to have people believe and, like, the narrative and stuff and, like, just how they talk about it, if, like, people didn't know any better, if you didn't know any better, if you were just totally oblivious, you would think that they're just rounding people up off the street like there's a bunch of fugitive criminal aliens and stuff. Like, you know, they're always throwing millions and millions and all that bullshit. They'll have you think they're rounding people out the cracks and they're, like, hiding. Like, you know what I mean? And then when they throw them in words like invasion and all that bullshit, there's no invasion. We're not at war. You know what I mean? That's why I'll be saying, so, like, the majority of the individuals that have records, they've been sent to prison. They you know, they came here illegally, whatever their status was. They committed a crime. They got arrested. They got thrown in jail. They went back and forth to court. They got sentenced. And they went to prison. So they were punished for all the stuff that we accuse them of doing. A lot they were doing. Well, the ones that were, they got sent to prison. They were punished. Some of them were released to the streets here in the United States and on probation and parole. Some of them got intercepted by ICE and they got deported. Serious crimes committed by undocumented immigrants. While the majority of undocumented immigrants are not involved in serious crimes, some have been convicted of offenses such as sexual offenses. Approximately 553 individuals, or 2%, in federal custody were convicted of sexual offenses. Violent crimes, a total of 969 individuals, or 3.6%, committed offenses including kidnapping, murder, larceny, terrorism, escape, bribery, extortion, and rape. That's from the Justice Department. Since January 2021, the Department of Homeland Security has removed over 180,000 non-citizens with criminal convictions from the United States. See what I'm saying? That's the key word. Like, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause sometimes when people are reading, they'll just, you know, but you gotta, like, understand, like, exactly it says, since 2021, the Department of Homeland Security has removed over 180,000 non-citizens with criminal convictions. That means they got in trouble, they got arrested, they got sent to prison, you know what I mean? So they were punished for the stuff that they were coming over here doing, right? So while a significant number of undocumented immigrants have criminal convictions, the majority are not involved in serious criminal activity. The narrative that undocumented immigrants are predominantly criminals is not supported by the available data. All right, y'all. Back to the episode. Music interlude, y'all. Music interlude. This was called On the Double. Styles P and Dice Payne. It's off the Ghostin' album.
But you're still in the prison camp.
But you're still in the prison camp. You're still a prisoner. And every now and then, some black people tend to forget that. And the white supremacists always let them know. Oh, just because you have that title, you got to remember, boy, I gave you that title.
So you could be prisoner.
You don't have a title of your own. You just have a title.
Okay.
You are beholden to me. Every move that you make has to be approved by me. And if you make one that's not approved by me, you will feel the sting from me.
Mm-hmm.
And they have proven this all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
All of the so-called presidents of African countries, these are not really countries. These are just titles that people have. The white supremacists will determine whether they eat or not.
Mm.
All right? Not to say anything about whether their people will have anything or not. You know, the white supremacists determine whether or not they'll breathe. I mean, through the rest of this day.
So before the United States took control in the mid-1800s, a significant portion of what is now the western United States was part of Mexico. Specifically, territories that were part of Mexico before 1848. California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. Though it declared independence in 1836, then joined the U.S. in 1845. Also, parts of Colorado, Wyoming, and Oklahoma were actually considered Mexico before the white man came and stole it. Why do you think a lot of places in California, just listen to some of the names of the cities: Santa Barbara, San Bernardino, Santa Clara, Santa Ana, all that stuff. You know what I mean? You think some white man named them places that? No. It was stolen. The land was ceded to the United States after the Mexican-American War, which took place between 1846 and 1848. Under the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, the United States paid $15 million for the territory and assumed $3.25 million in Mexican debt to American citizens. Many historians and critics describe the war and resulting treaty as acts of imperialism and outright theft, particularly given the United States' aggressive expansionists' goals, manifest destiny. So almost the entire U.S. West Coast, south of Oregon, California especially, was once Mexican territory. So if y'all are interested in going to do more research of that too, you know what I mean? So, just wanted to put that out there. That's Bob Marley in the background, too. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, signed on February 2, 1848, ended the Mexican-American War in favor of the United States. The war had begun almost 2 years earlier, in May 1846, over a territorial dispute involving Texas. The treaty added an additional 525,000 square miles to the United States territory after they stole it. I added that, including the land that makes up all or parts of present-day Arizona, California, Colorado, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming. Mexico also gave up all claims to Texas and recognized the Rio Grande River as American southern boundary. Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848. On May 13, 1846, the United States Congress voted in favor of President James Polk's request to declare war on Mexico in a dispute over Texas. Under the threat of war, the United States had refrained from annexing Texas after the latter won independence from Mexico in 1836. But in 1844, President John Tyler restarted negotiations with the Republic of Texas, culminating with a treaty of annexation. During the presidency, James Polk managed another important land acquisition, or theft, this time without a war, when his administration diplomatically settled a border dispute with the British and gained control of the present-day states of Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, plus parts of Montana and Wyoming. The treaty was defeated by a wide margin in the United States Senate because it would upset the slave state-free state balance between North and South and risked war with Mexico, which had broken off relations with the United States. But shortly before leaving office and with the support of President-elect Polk, Tyler managed to get a congressional resolution passed, and then, on March 1, 1845, signed into law, Texas was admitted to the Union on December 29th of that year. Don't mind the ad. There was an ad running. The music had stopped, so whatever they were talking about after that, just disregard that. While Mexico didn't follow through with its threat to declare war, relations between the two nations remained tense over border disputes. And in July 1845, President Polk ordered troops into disputed lands that lay between the Nueces and Rio Grande rivers. In November, Polk sent the diplomat John Slidell to Mexico to seek boundary adjustments in return for the United States government settlement of the claims of American citizens against Mexico and to make an offer to purchase California and New Mexico. After the mission failed, the United States Army under General Zachary Taylor advanced to the mouth of the Rio Grande, the river that the state of Texas claimed as its southern boundary. Mexico, claiming that the boundary was Nueces River to the north of the Rio Grande, considered the advance of Taylor's army an impact of aggression, and in April 1846 sent troops across the Rio Grande. Polk, in turn, declared the Mexican advance to be an invasion of U.S. soil, and on May 11, 1846, asked Congress to declare war on Mexico, which it did 2 days later, starting the Mexican-American War. All right, y'all, yep. Let's get back to this episode. Music interlude, y'all. This is Dave East off the Black Rose album.
Gold chains when I'm laid to rest. I need 100%. Shit, you can take the rest. Pussy wet. Every time we fuck, she make a mess. All these niggas going right, figured I make a left. Designing everything like what they wear now. They never paid attention. I can feel the stairs now. Elevator broke. We gotta take the stairs now. I ain't trying to fight this Mac or knock a bed down. Nightmares from my abortion that my ex had. Looking forward to a better future. Had a stress pass. In my opinion, who they be calling the best trash. I'm still out making sales, catching the next tab. My car.
Music interlude, y'all. This Styles P and Nino Man.
Let's go, machine. They ain't tell you that the ghost is hard as fuck. Dump like a garbage truck. Told you that these rappers is trash. Think they trying to get me back in the mask to lay on them, do homework. Running his home and spray on them. Ain't doing that same shit, but doing that gang shit. Told Nino I'm about to eat. I can meet on my St. Nick's up a seasoned vegan. I'm not the heathen to bang with. I'm in 6th gear. Who you gonna get in this lane with? If it's family money or smoke, yeah, that is my language. Not whole corner, but you on some dame shit. In the mirror all day, and that is some lame shit. And I ain't wanna judge, but it fills me with anguish. Just that champagne. I always got attention, been a wavy nigga. They watch me since a kid and need a babysitter. Soon as you start to shine, niggas get shady with you. So niggas in your mom's crib like your baby pictures.
Nice card. It says, Dear Michelle and David, Marley and Chewy, for Charlie. Hope it brings you comfort to know your friend's life was so much happier because you were in it. Very sincerely, love, Mom and Jim. Rest in peace, Charlie. We love you, homie. I think about you every day. Charlie's our dog that just passed a little while ago. For those like people like newly listening or whatever, like, who the hell is Charlie? Who's Charlie? That's our dog. He was 14 years old, pug. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. Nice card. It says, Dear Michelle and David, Marley and Chewy, for Charlie. Hope it brings you comfort to know your friend's life was so much happier because you were in it. Very sincerely, love, Mom and Jim. Rest in peace, Charlie. We love you, homie. I think about you every day. Charlie's our dog that just passed a little while ago. For those like people like newly listening or whatever, like, who the hell is Charlie? Who's Charlie? That's our dog. He was 14 years old, pug. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. So check this out, y'all. I put together a list of some movies that are racist or are considered racist or are potentially racist. You know, through the dialogue in the movie, you know what I mean? The stuff they're saying, they're doing, or whatever. And the reason I had started doing some research on this is because I wanted to find out what other movies had racial bullshit in them, because Michelle and I brought it up, it's probably a couple months ago, but we were watching Saturday Night Fever, right, with John Travolta. probably a couple years ago already now, and we were watching it, and so they were walking down the street, and in one of the scenes, and dude said the N-word. So I was like, wait, what? Because I haven't really watched that movie since I was a kid. You know what I mean? You're not really super paying attention all back then when you're a little ass kid. So, but when I watched it as an adult, I caught that, and I'm like, whoa. So anyway, so we won't watch that movie ever again. You know what I mean? Because, like, why would you have that in your script? You know what I mean? And if you were trying to portray, like, how some people, you know, were racist or whatever towards black people, you should point that out. You should say, like, somewhere in the description of the movie or somewhere in the, you know what I mean? Or something, somewhere along the line. Make sure that you're saying that. Like, some clips were, you know, discussing how racism, you know, was used against black people, and these words were being said and blah, blah, blah. We don't condone it, but we're, you know, showing, like, how people talked about black people even back then or whatever. Because if you don't do that, then it just looks like you're being racist. You know what I mean? Communication is key. So it says, so I looked up the information about Saturday Night Fever. Because it says, the film's protagonist, Tony Manero, and his friends frequently use racial epithets such as the N-word, spick, and faggot. For instance, during a dance contest, Tony complains about the results, stating, and this is a quote from the movie, "You gotta lie right through your fucking teeth. Stephanie, that was rigged. That's like family. They can't give it to no spick or no stranger or N." This line exemplifies the film's unflinching portrayal of racial tensions and prejudices. It says Saturday Night Fever, made in 1977, does contain the N-word and other racial slurs. The film's portrayal of working-class Brooklyn youth includes frequent use of the derogatory language, reflecting the character's casual racism and homophobia. This raw dialogue is part of the film's gritty realism, but it also contributes to its controversial legacy. And then I got a list of some other ones. I won't bore you guys with too many of them, but, you know, there might be some movies on here and you might end up being like, what? Really? I didn't know that. So, The Mask of Fu Manchu, which was made in 1932, said this film features the infamous character Dr. Fu Manchu, portrayed as a villainous Asian mastermind. The film perpetuates the yellow peril stereotype, depicting Asians as cunning and dangerous, which was a prevalent racist trope of the time. Borat, while intended as satire, Borat has been criticized for perpetuating negative stereotypes about Eastern Europeans, Muslims, and other groups. The film's humor often relies on offensive caricatures, leading to debates about its impact on cultural perceptions. The Toy, and that was actually one of my favorite movies and stuff, but you know what I mean, as an adult, like, I see it and look at it differently. You know what I mean? It was just like, they go on and basically buy a dude to come and entertain his kid and shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Starring Richard Pryor, this comedy involves a wealthy man hiring a black man to be his son's toy. The premise has been criticized for its portrayal of black individuals as subservient and for trivializing serious racial issues. White Dog, which was made in 1982. This film tells the story of a dog trained to attack black people. While intended as an exploration of racism, the film's portrayal of the dog and its trainer has been deemed offensive and problematic leading to its withdrawal from release. Good. Glad they didn't release that bullshit. Mandingo, 1975. Set on a southern plantation, this film depicts the sexual exploitation of enslaved black individuals. Its graphic content and portrayal of interracial relationships have been criticized for sensationalizing and trivializing the horrors of slavery. That was from the Business Insider. I'll just do a couple more. Gran Torino. I remember watching this movie in the earned release program I did at Racine Correctional Institution, because they used to have us watch movies and stuff like that, right? And then we would have to write all the things we took from it, like what we learned. You know what I mean? Just some things you got from it or whatever. Directed by and starring Clint Eastwood, this film portrays a Korean War's veteran's relationship with his Hmong neighbors. Critics have pointed out inaccuracies in the depiction of Hmong culture and customs, as well as the film's reliance on a white savior narrative. King Kong, 1933. The original King Kong has been criticized for its portrayal of indigenous characters as primitive and subhuman. The film's depiction of Anne Darrow's kidnapping and the subsequent events have been interpreted as racially insensitive. Dumbo, that was made in 1941. Disney's animated classic features a group of crows that speak in a minstrel show dialect, reinforcing stereotypes of African Americans. The film's portrayal of these characters has been widely criticized for its racial insensitivity. Now it's from Blavity News and Entertainment. I'll just do one more here. Flash Gordon. I remember going to see Flash Gordon at Capitol Court Theaters back in the day. I remember us going in there and sitting in there and watching it twice. The character Ming, the Merciless, is portrayed as a broad, racist villain figure, leading to the film being rated higher for age appropriateness due to its discriminatory stereotypes. Forrest Gump, 1994. While beloved by many, Forrest Gump has been criticized for its portrayal of race, particularly in its depiction of Jenny and the film's handling of historical events. Some argue that it oversimplifies complex issues and perpetuates stereotypes. So if y'all want to do any more research on those movies or whatever, go check them out. All right, y'all. Oh, I'll just do one more here, too. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, 1984. Made by Steven Spielberg, depicts Indian culture with offensive stereotypes, including monkey brain dinners and voodoo-like mysticism, or whatever that is. mysticism. The Help, criticized for centering the story of racism in the South around a white savior character, diminishing the voices of black women. Let's see, 16 Candles, 1984, John Hughes. Long Duck Dong character is seen as a crude Asian stereotype. Soul Man, remember that, 1986, Steve Miner. A white student using tanning pills to pose as black and receive a scholarship built on racial insensitivity. Wow, yeah, I remember that shit. The Jazz Singer, 1927, Alan Crosland. Famous for using blackface in a positive light, but problematic in hindsight. Of course it's problematic. There's nothing positive about blackface, you idiot. Breakfast at Tiffany's, 1961, Blake Edwards. Mickey Rooney's portrayal of Mr. Uniashi is a notorious example of yellowface and Asian stereotyping. All right, y'all, let's get back to this episode. Yeah, those movies have been criticized for being racist. You know what I mean? Chewy time.
Are you so excited?
Mm-hmm. The sun is shining too out there. Y'all hear it? go out front and around? Oh. Morning. Right away. We're outside now, y'all. Y'all hear them birds? You want to do the long rod or just the short one?
No, the long one.
Okay. Flying seagulls, flying rats, I mean, as I call them.
You like forces you to walk fast.
You definitely know like the summer's coming when you hear all them birds and all the work trucks and stuff, and start hearing them lawnmowers and stuff. You're probably not hungry now because you just kind of got up, but I'm going to make some pancakes and some eggs.
Oh, okay.
Well, we bought the package of frozen pancakes, but I'm going to throw them in the oven. And then I'll make some eggs. I wish we had some bacon. I'm in the mood for some bacon this morning. I love it. Chewy's just peeing all over he's marking his little territory. Oh, he's pooping now. Alright, y'all, we're gonna clean this little poop up. Oh, so the movies, right? I was reading off some of the movies that have racist, either commentary or, just racist stuff. The Toy was on that list.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But, just think about it. When we were younger, and we watched it as, kids, we weren't focused in on that because we were just watching the movie. But as an adult now, you're like, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
That's
bought him?
Yeah, he bought him just to be entertained.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like, why couldn't he have hired a white guy? When he was in the story, he was like, did he say, I want the black guy?
Yes.
Oh.
I think so.
Wait, and then we still haven't figured out, okay, the kid in the movie and the toy, right?
Yeah.
Michelle and I were wondering, I don't remember if we ever figured it out, but we were wondering if that was the dude that's in
The bear?
The Bear.
It's not.
And
it
in
like
Christmas Story.
Oh, it was the kid in Christmas Story. But it was not the man that's in The Bear.
And they look just alike.
That's the cousin, yeah.
I'm like, that's what dude looked like when he was a kid.
Yes. It's the eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
The eyes.
Yeah, so we are just, the Toy is one of them. What was another one? Oh, the Saturday Night Fever.
What are you doing? That's not your house.
Come on, Chewy. And they were saying the N-word.
Yeah.
And Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, I really didn't care for that movie.
I didn't either. I just remember, as kids, because, Mom and Gordon's our stepdad, they used to take us to a lot of movies with them, you know what I mean? Remember I was telling you we saw Paper Moon? I remember going to see all the Star Wars movies when they came out. I remember standing in line when Return of the Jedi came out.
Oh, wow.
I still remember that. Yeah. Yeah, but I read off some of them movies and stuff like that. It's just crazy that people would write that in their script. And if you're not trying to be racist in the movies, then if you're trying to just discuss it or highlight what was going on, then they should be saying that somehow.
Yeah.
So people don't, because people are going to just be like, yo, that's some racist shit. But if you don't explain, Oh. Hi.
No, you can't.
That's Chewy. He's a Valentine's baby. He's 14 months now?
Yeah.
15? Yeah, everyone loves him. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thanks. Yeah. Chewy's out here making friends, y'all. He's stopping at every, are these condos? Yeah, he's stopping at every like condo and like walking up to the steps to see if someone wants to come out and greet him.
That's so funny. He's like, but she had food in that bag.
Yeah. So I'm going to give him a bath today, too. Brush his teeth. I cut his nails a couple days ago.
I think once a week is okay.
Yeah, because their nails grow back quick. I know that the first time I had trimmed his nails, like a few days later, it was like they were growing back already. I was like, damn. Oh, and it is a myth that if you crack your knuckles, they get like fat and bigger.
Arthritis.
Yeah, you might get the arthritis, but like there was, remember that myth was like if you crack your knuckles, like your knuckles are gonna get all big and shit?
Yeah.
That's a myth. The arthritis ain't a myth, but.
Yeah.
So yeah, go on and get y'all some nice weather today in there. No matter wherever you're from, wherever you're living at.
Just take a little extra longer.
Yeah, we're just walking along the river, looking in that dirty ass water.
Well, I just want to know what they're doing over there too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they are cleaning it because I saw something on the news.
Like power washing it?
Yeah, they were talking about. Oh no, you're talking about over there. Yeah, they closed that. What's the name of that park?
Swing Park.
Swing Park. They got it all closed off for anyone that's like coming down like in the Commerce or like Water Street area. They got it all closed off. I think they're basically shutting that park down.
Oh, they're redoing it. I read.
Come on, Chewy. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Cause didn't a couple people get killed over there?
No, but there's
at that park?
A lot of fights.
I think someone did get killed over there though.
Maybe.
Or I know there was a couple shootings over there. I know that for sure. You want to just go up through here?
Sure.
Come on, Chewy. This way. There's probably glass and stuff all on it. Be careful. Walking over here we're by Lakefront Brewery, just taking a little walk. Chewy, some fresh air. Come on, Chewy. The only thing he's got to get better at with the walking is like learning to stop and sniff stuff, because he just. I wish he would stop and explore more.
Yeah, he just wants to go.
He just wants to go. Yep. No. I wish there was an opening that way.
Yeah. Or even like a gate.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta keep it tight.
All right, y'all, we're going to finish our walk.
Ooh, a little incline.
Mm-hmm. What?
I smell flowers or something.
Mm-hmm.
This is a small-ass parking lot.
Small-ass parking lot. Lakefront Brewery parking lot, small as hell. They're like, shit, we don't need no parking lot. People are going to walk over here to drink. Watering hole.
Listen to the insane kicking and they say time flies, but it's never a plane ticket. Never. Yeah, we get the money and all of the pain with it. And the black clouds and all of the rains with it. Niggas want you to follow them. They ain't leaders though. Like going to war and not bringing the heater though. Learn the game and everything you getting from it. Might be the next Malcolm X in the strip or something. Might all Martin though. All Huey though. But niggas only care about Gucci and wearing Louis clothes. Cried the other day for the state of mind is funeral. Sad when little boys are starting to wear women's clothes. Listen to me talking to you like a nephew. Whoever don't ride with you, nigga, you gotta step.